Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 5 of What If Naruto Fused with the 12-tailed dragon god. Remember to get this one too 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new episode over on Anime King of What If Naruto Was a Reincarnation of Anos Voldigo, and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new, yes, I indeed have 4 more channels which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. All the links will be down in the description, so go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. So without further ado or wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this? Begin now guys. So the last time we left off, Kiba was rather confused on how the hell that Naruto was not sweating, not even in the slightest. He was not sweating as they were walking in the heat. However, Naruto said that it did not bother him. As the group continued on their trip, when they came across the puddle, as Naruto noticed, something was off about it. The demon brothers sprung out of it as they ripped Kakashi to pieces. Naruto was attacked as he actually slipped up. This was his first time facing danger since when he lost his composure to protect Mito and Menma when they were almost captured. So yes, Naruto was put in a state of, well, he was scared. However, he soon realized that he was here on a team, and if he froze up, it will be bad for his team members. However, Naruto punched just a bit too hard as he snapped Miyaizu's neck, killing the demon brother. Kakashi arrived back on the scene as the 2 demon brothers were taken out, one by Kiba and Sadara and the other one by Naruto. However, Naruto's opponent was dead. Kakashi came over and gave him some wise words of comfort. It was soon after that they spoke to the client. Sadara kept on gazing at Naruto, wondering if he was alright, given the fact that he just took someone's life. And after hearing about Gato, she knew how he felt about people bullying others. They decided to continue on with the mission as they made their way. It did not take too long after that for them to come across the area, as Naruto picked up on 2 individuals. It was right there that Zabuza decided to attack, as he clashed off against with Team 7. The battle was fast-paced and quick. Kakashi quickly got captured by Zabuza. However, the 3 of them worked together in order to free Kakashi. Zabuza was baffled by Naruto's strength though, as he didn't know a small child like that would be able to produce a force like that. Naruto almost burned Haku to a cinder when he finally showed up, as he almost burned him away completely. However, Haku was able to escape with Zabuza. They returned back towards the house as Kakashi started their training, knowing that they would show up sooner or later and they had to be prepared. While out training, as Kakashi was working on all of their extra physical attributes, Kiba was the only one that did not know the tree walking exercise. The other 2, Kakashi was teaching them elemental manipulation. Sadara came across someone. She thought that she was a girl at first, but he was a boy named Haku. Haku spoke to her as Sadara finally got it off her chest. She could not tell Kushina about this, because Kushina would instantly know. She couldn't tell Mito about this, she would instantly know. She couldn't afford anyone her life connected with to know about this, as she wanted to know what could she do about these feelings, as Haku provided some good advice for her. Having these things and keeping them till death will bring regret. And life is already full of so many regrets. However, this was better said than done after all. If she did do something about this, she would be hurting two persons that she cared about dearly. So she still didn't know exactly what to do. Iniri had made a fuss. However, they were quickly able to sort that out, as Naruto was wise for his age, what most always seemed to forget. Some time passed after that, as Naruto spoke to the goddess. She still had not told him her name. She was offering him something, another technique at his disposal that he had yet to know about. It might help him in the upcoming battle. On the day Naruto had returned, as he had stayed behind, two of the other guards attacked. However, Iniri, he was brave, as he ran straight out without hesitation, but they were about to slice him down with speed that the guards could not follow. Naruto disabled the both of them. As he told the child if that was not bravery, he did not know what the word mean. So with that, Naruto exploded off and flew straight towards the bridge, knowing that whatever is going to happen right now, as he made his way. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the play structure for yourself. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the what ifs of the other channels. I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So without further ado, or wasting no more time, let's begin this now guys. We begin this episode on the bridge. Things had become really heated really fast, as the members were now right in the middle of a conflict. Kakashi Hatake was going toe-to-toe with Zabuza, as the both of them clashed rather violently on the bridge. On the other side, Sadara was stuck inside of an ice prison, her two-totem Sharingan snapping around with every movement as she deflected and dodged all of the needle barrages. She sped through hand sign once again as she proceeded to exhale smoke from her mouth. It was ash. Haku quickly skipped to another mirror as Sadara bit down, igniting the ash with a click. Boom! It exploded violently. At the same precise moment, she thrusted 3 kunais out, explosive notes on each side of them. They hit into a mirror and went off, creating a louder explosion. Smoke filled the entire place. That is when Haku saw his opportunity. He rushed out of the top mirror as he came diving down. His feet touched down. The moment it did, he shot forward. Seeing the silhouette inside of the smoke, 3 needles appear in his hand as he was about to end this now. However, when he arrived, what he saw was a string with a kunai, as Sadara's jacket was floating back down to the ground. He was tricked. He snapped his gaze up as he saw her mid-ear. She proceeded to spew down a massive fireball towards him. However, he was fast as he leaped away. However, that was her plan in the beginning. He heard something behind him and his eyes went wide. Boom! The other explosives went off. The paper bomb throwing him forward as he slammed into one of his own mirror and fell. The pain knocking him senseless for a moment. The explosion had been too close. His back was burned and lacerated. That is when Sadara fell. She picked up the kunai as she rushed forward. As Haku lay there, he saw something coming their way, and he did something rather fast, hoping that this might get him the win. He took off his mask and turned towards Sadara. Sadara froze in her action her hand still gripping the kunai. She was surprised. It was the boy that she had met that gave her the advice. Haku? Haku threw several needles towards her, but she deflected them. However, Haku also threw them to the left. They were absorbed into a mirror and came out of another one. Sadara had no time to move as the needles hit her right in the neck. I'm sorry. That was the last thing she saw. As Haku apologized, it was not his intention to take her life. She was someone nice, someone who had a bright future ahead of her. Not to mention, she cared for someone and he wouldn't want to take her away from that person. He would not end her life, despite him being a tool for Zabuza. He had his morals. He always tried not to kill. And maybe in another life, him and Sadara could even be friends. However, whatever it was getting closer and closer. It was the other teammate who was not here yet. Meanwhile, Kiba felt the heat. Akamaru was not here. He had sent Akamaru off to go and call Naruto. To call for backup, he had no choice but to stand in front of the client. As much as he wanted to engage, Sadara had told him that it could be a trick for them to kill Tazuna. Akamaru was running through the forest, heading back when something whipped past the dog. Straight over its head, Akamaru felt the intense heat wave as the dog was blown back by the force. Naruto came tearing through the forest as he landed on the bridge. There was no violent explosion. He was able to redirect the intense wave of the collision straight in the sky. He glanced behind him as he saw Kiba, his eyes surveying the area. Where's Sadara? She's in there. You gotta help her, Kiba said. Naruto held his hand out as flames started to gather around his fists. Haku reinforced the mirror despite the drain that it was putting on his reservoir of chakra. However, Naruto's hand started to burn to uncontrollable levels. By their point of view, the heat started to increase the railing heat frequency. The whole bridge was turning hot. The metal would extremely burn off your skin at the moment. Naruto thrust his fist forward. Haku was shocked when the ice mirror exploded out towards him as Naruto used the opportunity to get inside. Haku reattached his mask. As he stood there, his back was still paining him. That is when Naruto's eyes focused on the enemy. However, he then glanced down as he saw Sadara lying on the ground, unresponsive. Naruto slowly stepped forward. As he slowly approached and reached his hand out, his hand was still, calm, not even shaking. He pressed his hand against her neck to try to feel a pulse. However, there was nothing there. And Naruto had touched her right side of her neck, and the needles had hit her in the left. And the way she was turned, he could not see it. So all he felt was nothing. He thought that she was gone. And all rationality went through the window. He lost it. Nothing changed, which was the confusing part. I'm sorry, but it had to be done, Haku said, hoping that they could get this over with. Take your dead and retreat. We won't come after you anymore. All we want is a bridge builder. Naruto's unusual eyes started to pulsate and spin. Similarly to the Sharingan, his eyes started to glow and pulsate. They trembled in their socket. His mind went back to where he saw Mito and Menma was going to be taken, but they were safe in the end. But he was too late. He was too late to save Sadara. Sadara was gone. Dead. After everything she's been through, having her whole clan taken away from her, leaving her as an orphan, and now her life was taken away. Over to the other side, both Kakashi and Zabuza came to a stop when they felt it. All the mist that was in the air, the water was vaporized. It was gone, cleared up. They could see each other perfectly. Steam started to rise from the sea below them. As the steam burned away the mist that was in the air and above the sea, which was shocking, allowing them to witness Gato with his group of boats and his men on them. Gato paused on their journey. Something was not right. The intense wave forced Akamaru to back away from his master. He just arrived a moment ago and he could feel the danger in the air. Kiba felt it as well. Something's not right, he said. Inside of the ice dome, Haku, believing that he could end this before a fight broke out, appeared behind Naruto and threw several ice senbons. However, they burned away before they could reach Naruto. Naruto stepped forward, his hair shadowing his eyes, as he picked up the body of Sadara. He then vanished, shocking Haku. Was that raw speed? Naruto appeared in front of Kiba. Kiba fell over, frightened, as Naruto's eyes could be seen by the dog boy. Kiba was trembling. There was nothing there. Kiba could not tell if Naruto was responsive or not, but he had the mind to bring her. Wait, Sadara? Kiba thought, as Naruto rested her on the ground. Inside of Naruto Mindscape, the goddess smiled to herself, a happy smile as she felt it. She was witnessing everything that was going on right through his eyes. The more he uses, the more she gets. She thought to herself, she was happy about this turnout. She was happy about this turn of event that led him to go into this state. Naruto's body took on changes. Scales start to appear at the side of his face. Golden scales. His canines start to turn razor sharp. Steam started to leave his mouth. His nails started to increase, but his fist was clenched so tight that his hands was bleeding because his nails were tearing right into them. One step that Naruto took made him reach the ice mirror. His speed was crazy. Instead of trying to break it, he simply walked. The mirrors started to melt. Despite what they were made for, they started to melt. As Naruto stepped through, his whole body seemed to be heated up at a super level, which was not visible to the naked eye. Haku prepared himself, realizing that he could not retreat back into his mirrors. As he backtracked and readied himself, 3 senbon in each of his hands. However, in the span of a second, Naruto was there. Haku was not able to see the transition between the space between them. Naruto was just there. Haku's eyes was just not fast enough to keep up. When Naruto's fists slammed into the mass, the whole bridge and the water beneath trembled with furious force. The mass exploded into hundreds of tiny pieces. Haku's body was thrown with so much force. His nose shattered, his eyes swollen, his head snapped back. Haku bounced across the bridge as Zabuza saw something coming their way. Kakashi made it difficult for him to get out of the way, so he braced himself as Haku slammed right into him. The both of them were sent sailing off the bridge and straight into the water. They collapsed into said water. Zabuza winced out in pain as the force that hit him caused him to puke up so much blood, holding Haku in his arms. Haku was unresponsive and motionless, and the both of them were sinking. Gato and his men climbed onto the bridge. They saw something flew overhead, but they weren't sure what it was. Over to the other side, Kiba was baffled. As Naruto started to walk forward, Kiba heard a groan. He looked down. Sadara, he said. She was waking up. Her head was killing her. Her neck was paining her. She could not move anything below her neck. Damn it, she cursed. What's going on? It's Naruto. He probably thought that you were dead as well. He lost it. Kiba, I need your help, she said. Yeah, sure thing, he said, as he helped her up. As Naruto's footsteps were leaving burnt indentation into the ground, the bridge. As he walked, Kakashi Hatake stepped in front of his student to stop him. However, when Naruto looked towards him, his lifeless eyes gazing into Kakashi, Kakashi felt shivers ran down his spine. Despite the man being an elite jonin of the village, Kakashi was utterly terrified, as it felt like he could not move. Just the gaze alone froze his entire body up. Kakashi felt this before. In fact, he felt it when going up against Orochimaru. However, this time, he felt the visible feeling of that look. Kakashi felt himself being burned from the inside out. As Naruto walked past him, his mind locked on the group in front of him. Despite his state, he still seemed to be able to tell the difference. As Naruto stopped, Gato looked at him. Where the hell is Zabuza? And that boy, he said, looking around. Don't tell me those two ran away. After all that crap, them saying that they could handle this, and the money that they want for this goddamn mission. Huh? Answer me, he said. Naruto appeared in front of him. Every time that Naruto moved, his wings would appear to show that he used them for the bonus speed, and they disappear at the same moment he reappeared, so one could not tell. Naruto leaned over, right in front of Gato, who was trembling. Gato's clothing started to burn as Naruto's hand rested on him. Suddenly, 12 strange things started to emerge from Naruto's back. They seemed like wings, but they were flexible. They flapped and twisted around. Gato started to scream as Naruto's hand started to burn into his flesh. His man jumped forward until the 12 things that emerged from Naruto shot forward. They ripped through skull, tear through chest. It was a massacre. Gato dropped down to his knees as Naruto released him. Gato looked up as he trembled in utter fear. Naruto's lifeless eyes looking down towards him. As Naruto still seemed to be unresponsive, completely out of it. The things from his back was mercilessly slaughtering all of Gato's people. Despite the numbers, it whipped and chopped and slashed and burned and tore. This wasn't just fire. This was plasma. Yes, this was plasma. The goddess had said it herself, that she had a range of abilities. So much that it was hard to list. This was one of them. This was plasma. Flames on a completely different level. So they did not touch or burn, they simply passed through, tearing and ripping. The bridge was bloody. So bloody. Gato tried to scamper away until Naruto grabbed his leg. Naruto lifted him up with one hand, showing his surprise and strength as Gato screamed. However, Naruto did a merciless act. He placed his feet right in the man's mouth and started to apply force. Gato screamed out as he tried to fight Naruto off, but Naruto yanked on his leg, ripping his head from his shoulders. There was absolutely no mercy as he dropped the body aside. Naruto then continued to approach, making his way towards the water, his eyes set on said water. "Naruto!" Someone screamed out to him. He paused. He looked over his shoulder to see Sadara standing there. She was being held up by Kiba, Kakashi right beside him. "You have to stop. It's over. Please, don't go," she begged him. "It's over." "I'm okay," she said, as she looked at him. Inside of the Mindscape. "Oh, I see," the goddess said. Her smile seemed to increase. She walked over as there Naruto was, lying down on the ground, out cold. As she reached down towards his face as his hand shot upwards, she grabbed it, holding on to his wrist. Still responsive. She placed a hand on his chest. "Alright then, there is so much build-up power. You're gonna have to release it," she said, as she whispered in his ear. "Release it all." In the outside world, Naruto leaned his head back and roared. A thunderous roar that shook the entire place. The citizens of the Land of Wave came to a stop in their pursuit as the entire place shook violently. To them it sounded like a demon roaring from hell, shaking the entire trees. The very air itself seemed to quake with power. A violent thunderstorm of heat was released from Naruto's body. It bathed the entire island. No one was harmed by it, but the wave spread through as the people felt the intense heat for only a moment. Naruto's eyes rolled back as he fell right on his face, out cold. "Okay," Kiba said, stepping forward. "If no one's gonna ask, I might as well ask it." "What the hell was that?" he yelled. Time skip. Zabuza was making his way. On his back was Haku. Haku's face was bandaged up completely. He was alive, but in really bad shape. Luckily, Zabuza knew someone that could help him. Despite his injured ribs and the pain that he was in, he was still going on as he proceeded to make his way. Time skip back at the house. As for Naruto, he found himself within the Mindscape. There he was lying down on the ground, when suddenly his head was placed in her lap once again. Naruto gazed up as she was looking down towards him with a smile on her face. She poked him on the cheek. "Quite a day you had, didn't you?" "What happened?" said Naruto as he tried to move. However, she held him in place. "It's alright. No need to rush to your feet. You're quite exhausted. But you should be happy," she said, as she rested her hand on his cheek. "Why should I be happy?" said Naruto. "You transcended for the first time." "Transcended?" said Naruto. "Exactly. Didn't you feel it? That rush of amazing power. The changes happening to your body. I know that you were thinking that you were unconscious, but you were fully aware of what you were doing. Otherwise, you would have killed your own teammates without even hesitating. Your mind might have been unfocused, but you know everything that was going on." Naruto's eyes widened. "Sadara!" "Shh, she's quite alright." "What? But You weren't paying attention all too well because of your rage. But she's okay. In fact, it was her that got through to you to return you back to normal." Naruto breathed a sigh of relief. He was rather happy to hear that when he heard the goddess giggling. "What's so funny?" said Naruto. "Oh, nothing," she said. "By the way, I checked over your body to make sure that nothing went wrong in the process. And you're 100% okay," she said. "So all you need to do now is to wake up." Naruto pulled himself up finally as he looked at her. She looked back at him. "Thank you," he said. "What?" she said to him. "I said thank you. I have no idea why you're helping me." I have no idea why you do half the things you do. And if you don't feel like you can tell me who you are or what's going on, it's okay. But you're always there. Every single time. Even most annoying times. But thanks, he said to her, as his body started to fade away. She looked at the spot where he was. No, she said, shaking her head. She couldn't afford to let his goodness tempt her. She had things that she needed to do after all. A lot of things. And with him taking the first step, she would soon be free to walk the earth once again. But he would be gone. So what? He was just a pitiful human. She has killed millions in her time. In the outside world, he's not different. All she had to do was keep on pretending to be nice to him, to ensure that she get her way. After all, she need him to make sure that she get free. Yet, his thanks bothered her because no one had ever thanked her before. But she couldn't let that hold her down though, as she returned back to the task at hand. Meanwhile, with Naruto, as Naruto awoken, the memories came flooding back to him. Yes, he might seem out of it, but he remembered everything that he did. His mind was set to get rid of the one that were pursuing them. Naruto looked down towards his hands. They started to shake. He killed so many people, and he didn't feel any single doubt of empathy. He just slaughtered them. What kind of monster was he thought. When he heard the door open, it was Sadara. She came inside. She could immediately tell that something was wrong. Usually, Naruto did not show much emotions, but now she could see it. As she stepped towards him, she knelt down to get on the same level as him. "What's wrong?" she said, knowing that something was wrong. As Naruto looked back towards his hands, I killed so many people, he said to her. "Yeah, I heard," she said to him. She placed a hand on his shoulder. "It does not change what any of us think about you. Those people, they were scum. They spend their life hurting and harming others. Doing something like that, you knew that one day you will eventually get killed. They know what they signed up for, not to mention what they did to the people of this village, and I'm sure many others. So do not put it on your head. They were monsters. They deserve what was coming to them," she said. As she did not feel a shred of doubt or guilt to what Naruto did. He did it to protect them. Naruto seemingly took a breath as his face returned back to normal. He wasn't over what he did. However, she was right in what she said, but his body was just naturally unresponsive most times. So it would seem like he did not care, but he did care. As bad as they were, he took their life. He killed someone when he first arrived here, but now he killed so much more. Naruto glanced up towards her. "I'm glad you're okay," he said to her. "Kiba told me what happened," she said. "You thought I thought you died," said Naruto. "And I guess I lost control. Unlike the last time I lost control when Menma and Mito was going to get hurt. This time I remember what happened. But I guess when you care for someone, emotions are really hard to control." She looked towards him with a surprised look on her face. "You care for me?" she said. Naruto looked up towards her. His words might sound sweet and nice, but his face did not display the emotions for them. He was just so calm. "Of course I do," he said. "You're one of the most important people in my life, and I care for you a lot. So when I thought that I lost you, I guess I lost myself in the process." She felt her heart. It felt like it's literally skipped a beat. As she was staring at him, remembering the words that Haku had said. She was staring at him so intently. Naruto, on the other hand, Naruto did not mean what he said. Yes, he cared for her because she was special to him, but special to him like a friend. That is what he saw it as at the moment. That is what he was seeing it as. However, his words just came out more affectionate than most. She was one of the few people that he could sit down and talk to that was not his blood family. However, him saying that, it bothered her greatly. Until Kiba came in the room. Oh, you're awake, he said, looking towards Naruto. As Sadara got to her feet, she simply left the room. As she left, she leaned up against the wall outside. Her heart was beating so fast. This was a real problem now. Because it was official, it was certain to her what she was feeling. But, Menma, she thought to herself. Time skip. Naruto stood in front of his father. After a few long weeks of the bridge being rebuilt, they were finally home, returning as heroes of the Land of Wave. Because of Iniri, and because Naruto killed Gato, they named the bridge after him. It was known as the Great Naruto Bridge. As Naruto was sitting in the office, talking to his father man to man about what had happened there, as Minato comforted his son on that area, understanding that getting your first kill is something that everyone will go through, but the feeling is different for everyone else. However, Naruto got his first dozens of kills in a rampage. Dozens upon dozens. When his mom found out about this, she was by his side in an instant. She always treated him like a baby despite how much he has grown. He was more quiet than most, more shut off than most. So to hear about this, she was worried. She even wanted to send him to Inoichi to make sure that he would be okay if there was any trauma, if there was any stress. However, Naruto assured her that he was quite fine, but Kushina was worried that he was not expressing himself. However, Naruto told her that he was fine once again, but she wasn't buying it. She made him a deal then. He wouldn't have to go if he come to talk to her, if he was not feeling well or anything. She said that she would be watching him, and knowing her, she would find her way. Mito was just as worried as well. They saw Naruto as what he was before he gained these abilities, how quiet he was, how cut off he was from most things. He was still that way, but he has opened up a bit. Menma was supportive there as well. After all, he was his brother, and he was glad that his girlfriend was back. However, she was acting a bit unusual, strange, but he was sure that it was just because they haven't seen each other for a long time. Time skip. Months went by. At the moment, Team 7, consisting of Naruto, Sadara, and Kiba, was making their way. As they weren't alone, this was a joint mission. Team 7 and Team 12 was making their way. Minato was making most of the teams co-op with one another so they can have the experience from now, so they can more understand each other when they level up towards other leagues. And the two Jonin senseis were there. Both of the teams were sent to investigate a town that was being plagued by a mysterious problem. So far, Team 7 and Team 12 has completed their mission record without a fail. Team 7 has been on more missions though, but Team 12 was right behind them, 2 space actually. But neither team has failed any mission. Menma was glad. This was his first mission going with his girlfriend, and Naruto was here as well. There was Sakura there as well, and Ame Uzuki. Naruto knew her, but they weren't that close. but they have spoken on several occasions, and there was Kiba on his team. Kiba found Ami rather cute. She was the strong, silent type. Strong, silent, and deadly. His type. Well, he has multiple types, he always told himself. So with that, the group made their way. The village that they were heading towards had sent for aid by a messenger bird. Yes, their village was being plagued by something. Not even the leader of said village knew what it was. The village was deep, deep, deep within the land of fire. It took them a while to get there. They had to pass through several different sections and go straight around. It was at the complete opposite way to Konoha. So yes, it took them a while. They had to rest. As it was nighttime, they made camp for the night. They would be moving out tomorrow. Naruto was currently sitting on a stone, sketching. As he was sketching the scene in front of him, the full moon could basically be seen on the horizon. He picked up on something, but he did not say anything. As she walked over and glanced at what he was doing. That's beautiful. It was Ami, who stood beside him. Thank you, said Naruto. I knew that you were good at drawing, but this... It's like you're an expert, she said to him. Well, I have been doing it for a long time. I guess I've gotten good. Good. This is amazing, she said. As she looked down to what he was doing, she was truly impressed. She liked Naruto. He was not as talkative as Menma. He was calm, collected, and just smooth. She liked that. She liked person that had similar personalities to her. She didn't know why she was this way, but she just was. However, she never got the opportunity to create a friendship with him. A close friendship. She would love for him to be one of her friends. After all, she's seen him on multiple occasions, but she was always hanging out either with Mito or Menma. He was always just by himself. He was like a mystery that she wanted to unravel and know more about. Do you mind? She asks. No, not really. She sat down right beside him and watched him. The both of them enjoyed the peace and calm. Nothing disturbing them as they just sat there. The only thing that could be heard was a noise in the forest and the movement of Naruto pen. Sadara, on the other hand, she was trying to clear her mind. This was one of the worst possible situations for her, with both Naruto and Menma being here. She did not give anything away, and she realized that she couldn't afford to do anything stupid. Menma was her boyfriend. She accepted his feelings. Naruto was just a good close friend. Sadara paused as she heard something. It sounded like Naruto sketching. However, she was rather surprised when she saw standing there was Ami. Wait, they were sitting on the rock. Their shoulders touching, they were so close together. As she was able to move over to see Ami, Ami had a smile on her face as she watched what Naruto was doing, and he seemed so relaxed. She thought that out of everyone else, except for his family, she was the only one that he allowed to get so close and relax with. But it seems like she was wrong. As she walked away, Naruto's mind was clear as he drew. He didn't mind Ami being here. She was quiet, and he liked that. She had a calm personality, something that he liked very much. The next morning, he didn't know what was going on, but Sadara didn't seem happy. It's like she got extremely grumpy through the night, and it stuck with her till now. Menma wasn't sure what the hell was going on. However, they were on a mission and he needed to focus. His father had warned him about this. That, yes, they might be together, but missions are dangerous. They finally arrived at the town. As Yamato looked around the place, there was a extreme amount of fog, which should not be in this area. This did not seem right in the slightest. As Sakura spoke up, given how far we are in this direction, there shouldn't be so much fog. This climate doesn't seem normal, she said. You're right, said Yamato. Something is unnatural here. Be on your guard, everyone, Kakashi announced as the group proceeded to take the entrance. They were given in grave detail on how to get in. That even upon itself was a strange coincidence. However, what the hell? Kiba said. Isn't this supposed to be a village? As they were all confused by the lack of people. There was no one, absolutely no one around. The group started to search, but they realized that together it would take a longer time. Yamato pulled out earpieces. As he handed one to Naruto, he handed the other one to Menma and the other one to Sakura. We will pair off in groups, he said, as he gave Kakashi one as well. The three of them placed on the earpiece. 2-man group everyone. Me and Kakashi will go on our own. Your job is to scout the place and find if there is any villagers located anywhere. At the first sign of trouble, radio in. Understood? As the group nodded, alright. Naruto, you go with Ami. Sakura, you go with Sadara. Menma, you go with Kiba. The group nodded to one another as him and Kakashi peered off as well. Both Naruto and Ami went to the left as they took to the rooftops. The place was empty. They searched. What do you think happened here? Ami said. I'm not sure, but it must have been really bad for everyone to run away, said Naruto as they took to the rooftops, moving through all the steam that was around. The fog was getting intense. As for Sakura and Sadara, they took to the other side. As they were moving through the alleyway, it was large enough the building gaps were large. This doesn't feel good, she said. Sadara agreed with her. As for Menma and Kiba, Akamaru was sniffing around. So was Kiba. I can't even pick up smell of people. There's another smell, but I'm not sure what it is. I've never smelled anything like it before. Something is at play here, Menma said. Kakashi was moving through the streets, searching as he couldn't find a single person. Yamato had his eyes around as they searched the entire place. The groups were making their way. With Naruto, he came to a stop. Did you see that? He said. What? Ami asked, looking around. I could swear I saw something move towards that building. Come on, he said, as he made his way and stopped in front of said building. She stopped there as well. I think I found something, Naruto radioed in, as he radioed in his location. Alright, stay where you are, Yamato and Kakashi told him. Suddenly, everything started to buzz as Naruto took off the earpiece. What the hell? What's wrong? It started to screech. The both of them heard the screeching sound. Over to Kakashi. Naruto, can you hear me? However, there was nothing coming back. Everyone was having the same problem as well. However, they had the location. They quickly started to increase their pace. However, Naruto heard a blood-curdling scream. It sounded like a terrifying child. Without hesitation, he leaped right through, making his way. Damn it, Ami said as she went after him. Wait, she said, trying to catch up with him, but he was so fast. However, she came to a stop. When he got inside, there was nothing. It was just a normal place, nothing special, nothing at all. The place was not even that large. You hear that, right? She looked towards him. Hear what? You really don't hear that, said Naruto. She shook her head no. Calm down, she said. I'm not sure what you're... Once again, something was pounding in Naruto's ear. As he wasn't sure what it was, he looked around when he suddenly looked down. As he sensed it, Naruto raised his fist and slammed it into the floor. However, it broke like wood. This wasn't earth. Naruto jumped on the wall as he jumped to the next one, jumping down. Ami quickly activated the chakra on the bottom of her feet as she started to run down as well, chasing after him. She quickly reached for her blade as she held it just in case. Naruto, wait, she shouted. Naruto, on the other hand, was hearing something. A child screaming out, screaming and begging for help. Meanwhile, Kiba and Menma jumped down as they regrouped. When they saw Sakura and Sadara making their way. What's going on? The signal cut out. Yeah, for us as well. Menma said. Akamaru found something. What do you have there, boy? As Kiba took it. Look, guys. As he said that, both Jonin senseis arrived on the scene. Is that? It's Naruto's earpiece. That mean? They all look towards the building. Meanwhile, both Naruto and Ami found themselves deep underground. Ami wanted Naruto to stop, but he just would not. She had no idea what he was hearing, but she was not hearing a single thing. However, she was rather shocked. This place led to a deep underground location. Another place entirely. As they finally arrived, it was a hatch. Naruto jumped up as he ripped it open and leaped through. As he landed, looking for the child that was crying out for mercy. That is when he saw a child tied up and bound, and a man standing behind her. The man had a smile on his face. His hand was locked in a strange hand sign. As Naruto heard the screaming, the guy was somehow manipulating the earwave. No, wait, it was a sound wave. But he used the earwave to carry the sound towards. He targeted Naruto. Ah, I see you fell for my trap. Like a fly to a spider, he said, with a grin on his face. He had dark, mousy hair, dark eyes. He seemed to be around 6 feet tall. He had a blade on his lower waist. So you're the one, Ami said as she pointed her blade towards him. Sorry, I could only get one, he said to her. Naruto looked around. There were houses all over. Where are we, he said. That's not important. What is important is, you're gonna be coming with me. I'm gonna use you to get the others. Both of you, he said, with a smile on his face. Oh, I see, said Naruto. You were afraid that you couldn't take all of us. So you lured us down here to use us as pawns. Ah, smart one. As he grabbed the child and threw her. However, someone appeared and caught her. It was a man. Another one, his face was covered. Get her back. Her usefulness is over. As he said that though, Naruto brushed past the man. Let her go, he said. The masked man spun around. He brought his arm up, thinking that the kick would be normal, but he was mistaken. Naruto sent him sailing as he grabbed the bound child and sent the guy into one of the rooms, kicking him right through the window of the house. The other man rushed forward, swinging his blade, but Ami blocked it. However, his strength was ridiculous. He was pushing her down easy. She gave Naruto a look as Naruto moved. She dropped the weight off her blade, allowing his blade to slam into the ground as she took out a kunai and threw it. It stabbed into his shoulder. She then jumped as he brought his blade up. She flipped in the air as she pulled out 3 kunais as she threw 2. She launched her blade. The man knocked away the 2 kunais as he reached to knock her blade away. However, right beside her blade was the other kunai that she had thrown. Right at the moment he did not see, as she pulled the ninja wire that tied to the handle of her blade. The man quickly moved though. However, his right eye got slashed. He gripped his face as it started to bleed. He was pissed. You bitch, he yelled. He flashed through hand signs as he released a sound wave. Ami dodged it, however. She suddenly screamed and gripped her ears. Suffer, he said. Suffer, as his eye was closed. Leave her alone, said Naruto as he crashed right into the man's shoulder style, sending him barreling towards the other building. Naruto turned as the young girl was grabbed by the other one, who had recovered, but his other arm seemed to be out of commission. That is when they all saw the others. The first man cursed as he looked towards his partner. We have to leave. Cover us, he said. As he looked down towards the girl, the first man used a distraction as he threw down the explosive. The second man threw the girl right through the window as Naruto rushed, as all the broken window pieces would hurt her rather badly. Naruto reached as he stepped on it. Some of them pierced through his sandals, but he caught her in his arms. It's okay, he said. The guy threw a kunai towards him, forcing Naruto to jump inside of the building. Yes, he jumped inside. Kiba and the others finally arrived on the scene. As Ami picked herself up, her ears were bleeding. As she looked over towards where Naruto had jumped through, the man with the mask smirked as he pulled out a strange device. Kaboom, he said, as he pressed it. He then jumped away. Wait, where's Naruto? He's in there, Ami said, struggling to get back to her feet. As Naruto's silhouette could be seen, moving towards a window to hop back through with the young child in his arm until... boom! The entire building erupted in a massive explosion. It was violent. It was chaotic. It was destructive. The whole building seemed to be wiped away without any trace. It was just gone. The explosion was massive and large. My eyes went wide. Ami couldn't believe what she was seeing. They were shocked. Everyone was frozen. Until the blood-curdling scream came from Sadara, breaking most of their focus. The girl ran towards the building. However, another explosion went off with another one. This was beyond a getaway. However, she did not hear. She screamed his name out. Naruto, she screamed as the other building collapsed on the first broken one. However, Kakashi was fast enough as he grabbed her arm, stopping her. Let go of me, she said, screaming at Kakashi as her Sharingan activated on their own. Let me go, she screamed, trying to get towards the destruction. However, Kakashi knew that he could not release her, as the remaining building collapsed on the first one, completely destroying everything. She screamed and screamed at Kakashi. However, Kakashi saw her eyes. Menma also saw her eyes as they leaked tears. However, a third totem popped in her eye, but that was not what was special. Her eyes morphed and changed. Kakashi was shocked when he saw her Sharingan change into something else. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs of the other channels. I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. And don't forget to stay in tune for the rest of what is coming your way. Yes, that's right guys, I indeed have 4 more channels. Anime King, Anime King 3, Anime Prince, Anime Symbol. So go ahead and check them out and enjoy each and every one of them. So without further ado or wasting any more time, let's get out of here, shall we? See you guys soon. Peace, guys.